Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today's topic is going to be how Sam Darnold saved the 2019 New York Jets season. But before we get started, I just wanted to mention that you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY, and please make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel. Okay, so how did Sam Darnold save the New York Jets season? So, the New York Jets found themselves in a 1-6 hole, and they were looking really brutal after a bad loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars, 29-15. Over the last two games, at that point, Sam Darnold threw 7 interceptions, 4 coming against the New England Patriots in an awful performance, one of the worst games played by a quarterback and a team that I've ever seen. And then in Jacksonville, he had a little bit of success, but ended up throwing 3 picks later in the game. And yes, the interceptions and turnovers were bad, but he did some things okay. That's not the point of the story. The point is, after the game, he went to Adam Gase and he told him what he's comfortable with in the offense. And they had a real long talk about the Jets offense and what was working and what wasn't. And this isn't me making it up. The Athletic said this story and it's been all around the news ever since. So, ever since that point, the New York Jets are 3-1. They had a loss in their next game to the Miami Dolphins, and it was a close game, and Sam Darnold did throw an interception in that game and just 1 touchdown, but it was very close to being 2 touchdowns, 0 picks. If you remember, he hit Ryan Griffin in the end zone, and for some reason, the referees reviewed the play, and they said that the ground forced the ball out, which didn't make any sense to me because he caught the ball, had 2 feet in, and then I guess it came out. I don't know. That still isn't really all that clear to me. Anyway, the Jets lose that game, drop to 1-7, and now they go on a 3-game win streak. But over the last 4, what does his sample size look like, and what are his projections? Well, like I said, 3-1. He had 1,098 yards over that span, which is a 274.5 yards per game average, 8 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 2 rushing touchdowns. He's had himself a phenomenal 3-game stretch, really 4-game stretch if you're going to include that Miami game, but more specifically the last 3 weeks. So what does that pace out to over a full 16-game season? Well, a really impressive year. A 66 completion percentage was what he's averaged the last 4 weeks, so 66% completion, 4,392 yards, 32 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Do I think he's going to throw for that next year? I'd probably be surprised. I mean, it depends how the rest of this year goes. But the point I want to make is he was not as bad as what he was in that real rough stretch in the games against New England and the game against Jacksonville, rather. Not as bad. And he probably isn't as good as what he's been the last 3 weeks, where he's been ungodly and got another Player of the Week nomination. I think he got the NFL Game Ball from their Twitter account, whatever that means. Some gimmick, but whatever. Nonetheless, the point I wanted to make is he single-handedly saved the season because he went to the head coach and was honest. And from then, Adam Gase has made a ton of adjustments. This last game, I said it in my post-game recap, was Adam Gase's best game as a New York Jets head coach. Maybe his best head coaching performance in his 4 years as a head coach in this league. They utilized Le'Veon Bell in the slot and lined up as a wide receiver. They utilized all 3 running backs. Ty Montgomery got in on the action. Bilal Powell got in on the action. They spread the ball around to Griffin, Anderson, Crowder, Demaryius Thomas. Everything was flowing, and Sam Darnold was making plays. The offensive line was good. Overall, a great performance against the Raiders, and Sam Darnold is the biggest reason for that because his play, this is what it shows you in the NFL. Your quarterback play can really dictate how your season is going to go. They really had no business destroying the Oakland Raiders like they did, but the offense was clicking on all cylinders. They didn't have their first punt until 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Yes, I understand the defense was playing great and made big plays. That's a part of it too. But offensively, it's all on Sam Darnold. And if you gave up on him, I genuinely feel bad for you. If you were calling him a bust, that the Jets should trade him, that they should be looking at a quarterback in the draft, he is 22 years old. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. Again, do I think he is going to throw for almost 4,500 yards next year? Probably not, but I think he is going to be a very good quarterback in this league for a long time. As of right now, where would I put him in the quarterback rankings? Probably about 20th. I put that poll up on my Instagram today, by the way, because I saw a tweet that really rubbed me the wrong way. Someone ranked him 31st out of 32 starting quarterbacks. That's just, utterly ridiculous. I would say probably 20 I think depending on how the rest of the year goes, maybe he can get up as high to 17. I can't see him getting much higher than that, though, to be honest with you. And I'm not going to run through all my quarterback rankings in this video. That's not what it's about. But ultimately, it's about him getting better and developing. And we've seen that on a week-to-week basis over the last 3-4 games. And I hope that continues because you have winnable games against Cincinnati, who's atrocious, the Dolphins, who are trying to lose. The Ravens going to be really tough after that. That's going to be the toughest game and the biggest test for this team. Steelers, I mean, historically, usually a tough opponent. Is Mason Rudolph going to play quarterback? Who's quarterbacking that game? We have no clue. And then Buffalo in Week 17, who the Jets played really tough in Week 1. I don't think they run the table and make the playoffs. I mean, that would be nuts. I think realistically, you're probably looking at 7 wins. But at the end of the day, if Sam Darnold is getting better, he is the reason for this turnaround because you have to have a quarterback in today's league, and we're seeing the quarterback that Sam Darnold could be. If you agree with me, let me know in the comments. If you disagree with me, get lost. No, I'm just kidding. You can get at me in the comments too, or on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'll talk to you next time.